Let's talk about AI. It's this incredible technology that honestly has a bit of a dual personality. On one hand, it could help us solve some of humanity's biggest problems. On the other, it could create a whole new set of them. So today, we're digging into a really critical question. Is AI going to be a tool that brings us all closer together, or is it going to be something that drives us further apart? You know, Klaus Schwab, the founder of the World Economic Forum, he really hit the nail on the head. He said, we're living through a societal revolution, one that could either elevate all of us or completely fracture us. The stakes couldn't be higher. And look, this isn't some abstract, far-off problem we need to worry about someday. This revolution is happening right now. And it's happening in a world where 2.6 billion people, that's about a third of everyone on the planet, still don't even have internet access. That's the digital divide that AI is being born into. Which brings us to our first big idea, AI's two-face revolution. It's this double-edged sword, right? It could make wealth inequality so much worse by automating jobs way faster than we can invent new ones. Or it could become one of the most powerful tools we've ever had to actually fight that inequality. To really get why this is so critical, you have to look at the world AI is walking into. It is not a level playing field. Right now, the richest 1% already have more wealth than the bottom 95% combined. This is the reality on the ground, and it's exactly why we have to be so careful and so intentional about how we roll out AI. Okay, so let's zoom in a bit. Let's move from these big picture challenges and go to the front lines to see how AI is already making a real, tangible difference in some of our most important sectors. I want you to think about social care for a second. The providers are dealing with this massive challenge. They're getting more and more referrals, but they can't afford to stretch their teams so thin that the quality of care drops. It's a total high-wire act. And that's exactly where a tool like Care Connect comes in. Now, the key here is that it's not using AI to replace human judgment. It's there to support it. It brings all the incoming requests into one place, uses AI to instantly flag the most important details, and even checks which staff members are available in real time. What's the result? Well, it gives care providers the clarity they need to make safe, confident decisions really, really fast. Okay, now let's take that same idea and scale it way up. Think about an entire city. Across the UK, local governments like the Liverpool City Council have this enormous responsibility to protect their most vulnerable people. And that means trying to coordinate between dozens of different agencies. So what did Liverpool do? It was pretty brilliant, actually. They built a platform that pulled in data from 35 different sources. We're talking social care, health, education, the whole shebang. For the first time, this created a single, unified picture of every family, which then allowed the AI to spot patterns and find those who needed help before they hit a crisis point. And the result of this? Get this, a 193% increase in the number of vulnerable families they were able to identify and support. That's not just a statistic, that's a massive, massive leap in being proactive instead of reactive. Okay, so those examples are incredible, right? But they all hinge on one absolutely crucial idea. If we want AI to serve humanity, we, the people, have to build the right guardrails around it. And the real starting point for that is a concept called AI literacy. The US Department of Labor has a great definition. It's basically a core set of skills that allows people to use AI, but just as important, to evaluate it responsibly. This is quickly becoming a non-negotiable skill for pretty much every worker in every field. So what does that actually look like? Well, the framework breaks it down into 5 main areas. It all starts with just understanding the basic principles. From there, you explore how AI is actually used. Then you learn to direct it effectively, with good prompts. Then comes the critical part, evaluating what it gives you back. And finally, using it all in a responsible and ethical way. And the great thing is, this isn't just some academic theory. The framework lays out 7 really clear principles for making this training actually work. The big takeaway is that it can't just be a boring lecture. The learning has to be hands-on, and it has to be connected to someone's actual job. It also has to focus on building up those complementary human skills, like critical thinking and ethical reasoning, all while being nimble enough to keep up with how fast this tech is changing. So, we've covered the people part, skilling everyone up. But what about the AI systems themselves? Well, the next crucial piece of the puzzle is designing the tech in a way that actively earns our trust. And this is where we need to make a really important distinction. On one side, you've got technical transparency. That's basically just explaining how the AI model works under the hood. But on the other side, and this is arguably way more important, you have accountability at the interface. This is about giving us, the users, real power. The ability to challenge a decision, to correct a mistake, or to understand what the system is and isn't allowed to do. At the end of the day, true trust comes from having agency, not just from getting a technical manual. And believe me, the cost of getting this wrong is, well, it's staggering. The global economy could lose out on an estimated $4.8 trillion in potential value by 2033. Why? Simply because of a growing AI trust deficit. If people don't trust the systems, they won't use them, and all that potential benefit just vanishes. So how in the world do we build that trust at scale? Well, one model that's been proven to work is the public-private partnership, or PPP. Think of it like this. You bring together the legitimacy of government, the innovation of the tech industry, and the critical oversight of civic groups. When you combine those three, you can turn a vague idea like trust into real, measurable controls and actual accountability. All right, this all leads us to our final and maybe our biggest challenge yet. We need a new global playbook. AI doesn't care about borders, so our approach to governing it can't either. And the places where these huge conversations are happening are forums like the G20, which brings together the world's biggest economies, and its policy group, the T20. These are the rooms where global challenges, especially AI governance, are being hashed out. But here's the thing, there's a big problem. Right now, the rules for AI are being written almost entirely by countries in the global north. What happens is these regulatory models get sort of exported to the global south, but without any real consideration for local infrastructure, culture, or what people there actually need. It creates this huge imbalance. So the answer is pretty clear. We need a much more inclusive approach. That means we have to tackle the digital divide head-on. It means giving the global south a real seat at the table when standards are being set. And it means creating shared, independent ways to monitor how AI is impacting the entire world. You know, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella put it perfectly. He said the world just won't put up with technologies anymore that haven't been seriously thought through on safety, on equity, and on trust. This demand for responsible AI, it's global and it's urgent. And so, that leaves us with this one final critical question. AI is no longer on the horizon. It's here. The technology itself is a given. The real variable is us. So the question we all have to answer now is, who gets to write the rules?